So before recording this video, I was chasing a fly around my apartment. It was a really big sucker, was in my lamp, tried to get it out of there. It started flying all around. So I'm like tiptoeing around my apartment like Arnold Schwarzenegger from The Predator, trying to hunt this thing down. And it lands on my trash can. I'm like swatting at it. It flies away. And then I hit it from midair with the fly swatter. It's like flying around. I like hit it miraculously, and I just felt like it was like the fly was so fat and big that it literally made a noise, and like I felt the fly get hit by the swatter. It was just so satisfying. So anyway, I'm addicted to going to the gym, and it's done more good in my life than it has done bad. And I'm kind of gonna go into a couple examples of that addiction and kind of get into why I think it's actually a plus, and why you should build that kind of motivation towards whatever you're working on in life. So just today, with my daily routine, I'll get up. I will get up around like 11 in the morning. I'll get ready, eat something, take my supplements, go to the gym, come back, and then I'll pack whatever I need to for work and be out for work at about 2:30, 2:40. And then I'll work till 11 p.m., come home. If it's a recording night, I'll record one of these videos. So that's kind of like my daily routine in a nutshell. So I get up, and my wife and I start talking, and we're talking about like a lot of personal stuff, like important stuff that we need to be talking about. We're moving soon, a baby on the way, so got a lot going on in life right now. And by the time I really realize like how much time has passed, I look at my watch and I see, oh shit, it's almost 1 in the afternoon, and I have to start getting in the shower and packing my stuff for work at like 2. So I have like an hour, if that, to go to the gym, and usually, you know, the drive to the gym, the drive back, not included in that time. I probably had enough time to fit in like, maybe like 3 or 4 exercises if I was lucky. Um, so a lot of people probably would have just skipped the day at that point. Like if they looked at their watch and they saw it was like way past when they were supposed to go to the gym, I can only go for a couple exercises. Like I'm just gonna skip today and go a different day. And like if you're the type of man that would skip the day, as opposed to the type of man who would go and do those couple exercises, in the long run, in anything in life, whether that's whether that's your gym routine, whether that's your career, whether that's the business you're building, taking what time you can to do as little as you to do as much as you possibly can with the little time that you're given adds up over time. Now I'm not saying that me going to the gym for 2 exercises that day is gonna blow me up and I'm gonna be like absolutely massive, but if every time some like inconvenience happened or I didn't have as much time to go to the gym as I thought I did happened, if I just took that, as a sign that I wasn't meant to go that day and I didn't go, like, and I had a shit physique, I would deserve the shitty physique that I had. Like, if I was looking in the mirror and I wasn't satisfied with what I saw and I was only training like a day a week because all the other days, like, something comes up and I'm like, oh, well, I'm not going to be able to go in for my whole routine, so, I'm just going to blow it off for the day. I would be totally deserving of whatever physique and whatever bad feelings I'd be having from that. Just like the person that does try goes in there, puts in the work, and doesn't let those couple things like that, like the time factor that I went through just today, bother them. They're in a better position to not be so deserving of that kind of mindset. So, and another thing, when it was Memorial Day, I was going to the gym trying to train, and saw that my location was closed. So I went like 25 minutes to another location to train. A lot of people would have just wrote it off as, oh, well, my gym's closed today. I don't know if the other location will let me go there. You can call ahead. You can call there. If your location's closed, you call the other one. You ask them if you can go in. Like, you make it fucking happen, you know? And I find that, you know, men in general, especially me, I thrive more I'm a lot more happy when I'm striving towards a goal. Whether that be, you know, going to the gym, even if it's just for a little bit, whether that be, coming home after going to the gym, after working all day, and then I have to record a YouTube video, the sense of satisfaction I get when when I finish editing that YouTube video, I upload that YouTube video, is way more than any negative side effect from, like, if I were to skip it, feeling guilty about it. So, like, when you start off with a new habit, right? Like, and let's use the gym as an example, because I've been using it as an example so far in this video, and from my own personal experience. When you're building a new habit, like going to the gym, you aren't initially addicted to that process. So, and it takes time to build that kind of, like, want to go up, because let's be real, like, you're not addicted to any results or any kind of process when you haven't actually seen any kind of results yet. So for me, it took me years of going, not, excuse me, it took me years of training in my parents' basement when I didn't even have a full gym set up. I would just train down there. I wasn't, like, super highly motivated to, like, buy my own results that I'd seen so far. I was motivated by, like, being more attractive to girls when I was in high school. I was motivated by, like, getting respect from men in high school. So it's like I had these, like, surface level goals, but, vanity can take you a pretty far way in terms of, if you're looking at it at a vanity perspective, and you're, starting to train, you're starting to improve, that your physique and the way that you look, it's very likely that you're also going to be improving your health as well. Unless that be from some artificial means, and also by extension, improving your mental health. So, to kind of go back to what I was saying, initially when I started training, I didn't have that kind of intrinsic motivation, because I hadn't built it up yet. So I was very reliant on, the extrinsic motivation of women, the extrinsic motivation of how other men perceived me. And that working for me for years eventually led to me seeing results, me being, told, and complimented by both men and women about those results. And then that led to me being, addicted to that process, addicted to those results. So eventually, once you actually build up that intrinsic motivation, when you don't go to the gym, like when I don't go to the gym, I feel like a piece of shit. And I don't see that as a bad thing. Like, I think that the guilt that one feels, and, like, the possible, like, I guess, worse off mentally you are if you skip a day, or, like, you feel lazy, or you're in a rut, that's worth the upside of, when you actually are consistent with it, and you're going to the gym constantly, you're improving your looks, you're improving your health. It's way worth it to me to have those times of, like, guilt when you're sitting at home, and like sometimes that guilt's gotten me up off my ass and has gotten me to the gym. That I wouldn't have done it for me if I was just still in that, if I was in that motivation of like, oh, I just want to like get women, like, and I didn't have that like habit built up and that addiction to that habit built up. There have been times when you know, when I would have a scheduled training day, I'd, instead of going to the gym, I would get my ass on my PC and start gaming. And like an hour into it, I'd be like, well, I'm not even like having fun gaming right now. Like, I feel like shit because I didn't go to the gym. Like, I feel like a lazy ass. And I got my ass up out of that computer chair and I went, got my shoes on, and I drove to the gym. Um, so like addiction in that sense of like addiction to a good habit can have its merits. Um, and like, where was I going with that? Um, no, I think that's just the point. Is like it has its merits, it has its good. I don't think like just because it's called addiction, people just get this wrong idea of like just because I'm saying like I'm addicted to a good habit, it's immediately a bad thing. I think if you become addicted to the gym through being the type of person that watches these videos, being the type of person that gets your ass up and goes because of that feeling of guilt, because you look in the mirror and you don't like what you see, um, just go and do it, and build up that addiction to that process, because it's gonna kick your ass into gear more times than it's not. And when you build that habit that you're addicted to, and you start, it's the concept is from a book called Atomic Habits, and you have like a core habit that you do every day. Like, let's say mine's going to the gym. If I get up and I go to the gym once a day for 6 days a week, that sets me up for the rest of my day. It almost ensures that it almost guarantees that I'm gonna do the rest of what I need to for that day. So like, if I skip the gym completely, I don't go, I don't feel any like guilt for it. The guilt doesn't get me up off my ass, and I just, you know, get lazy. I just sit around. I just play my video games. I don't do anything, and then I go to work. I'm gonna have a less productive work day, and I'm likely to not even record a video when I get home, or work on my website, or do any of that, any of like the productive tasks that I'm meant to do. So if you can make the gym like a core task and become addicted to it, it's gonna make it's called habit stacking, from that book. And the concept is kind of like when you have that core habit and you're consistent with it, all of the other habits kind of fall in place throughout the day. So when you have that core habit and you're addicted to that core habit, it's going to make all your other tasks that you have to do throughout the day even easier to do. So I hope this video is helpful to you. Just get addicted to that task, whether that be, your business you're working on, the gym, just getting better at anything in life. Just do it, full send it, bro. Get addicted to it. I think you'll find that it helps you a lot more than it hurts you. So if you want any of my help personally, or you want to work with me on creating a training program of your own, I'm going to link my website in the description. You have it in you to be great. Goodbye.